if you guys saw the first clip of of Christmas Eve yesterday, my weather and the fog and everything, and you look down, my temperatures last year was 15 degrees. It was 59 yesterday, and it's 55 today. And then our temperature starts dropping down to the 40s and 30s. Well, winter, our solstice was the 21st, okay? And our weather has been in the 50s all week. It has been beautiful, but it's been raining. So that's not normal. Obviously, we know that there's been a massive hole in the sun, the solar flares, the CMEs and things like that. That's been happening, throwing off people off their rhythm and so on and so forth. So, all right. I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to read you guys some dreams I've had, which I'm pretty sure you guys want to hear them. Okay, so that as we've been looking into the Class X and M classes of the CMEs arriving on other smaller ones, which are arriving now. So, and the things we need to watch for of these solar flares that are hitting are explosions of chemical plants of any kind of explosions, transformers blowing up, aircraft issues such as aircraft crashes, outages and blackouts, wild auras, even southerly, which if you guys have seen that, I've captured them not too long ago. And then impact to satellites, impact to health, especially the heart arrhythmias, and a rise of sudden cardiac death in the general public, anxiety and seizures, issues with nervous systems. You need to watch your pets and animals' behavior, bigger earthquake, volcanic activity, and so much more. And we've already been seeing aircraft issues and explosions in New York that has caused a New York blackout, which we've noticed this past week. There's a lot of things that's going on prophetically, yet people still seem to think that we are in the normal range of these things that are happening. But it's not, because reports in Texas, the internet has gone down, and folks were unable to get gas or use their credit cards, especially while this person was on vacation, and their navigation systems completely went off, and cell phones, the APM not working. There was glitches, and there was also reports from Georgia, New York, Wisconsin, and Alabama. So for the next future geomagnetic solar storm, I would have cash on hand, okay? And it seems like more and more of our technology is being affected, and so the geomagnetic unrest never even reached a G1 magnetic storm, and this is a telltale sign that Earth's protective shield is getting weaker and weaker, and it's just going to get worse, okay, while these events keep flowing through from the new binary system that's coming in, aka wormwood, so on and so forth. And why is this of importance? Well, because God is so powerful when he goes to come get us, and he's pulling everything out of place, because everything's going to have to be flipped upside down so that Satan can sit there and do his making and what he's doing to the world to get them deceived and into believing what's going to happen. There's the movie Leave the World Behind, which I find ironically, I believe, like I said, these little events are going to occur. They're little precursors of the big thing that's actually going to happen, and it's predictive programming. And I just watched the movie Rebel Moon, and wow. And that's a new one that just came out on Netflix, and I know a lot of people think that it's just like a Star Trek series, but it's not. If you physically listen about Neuralink that they're using into the brains, that they're breaking down the people that they kill, they're trying to get information and stuff of their knowledge. It's talking about AI, it's super soldiers for the military, aircraft coming out of nowhere, kind of like spaceships and things like that. And then you have the red planet. I think it's Jupiter or Saturn, and it has a big old ring around it. There's just so much to it, and I'm attaching a few clips that I watched from last night so you guys can watch for yourselves. And so, yeah. So we have the CME solar flares. breaking down El Nino, La Nino, like I've tried to explain, you have northeast, southwest, but you have the hemispheres, the western and the eastern hemisphere, that has a shield barrier to protect tornadoes and storms and whatever the west is used to getting versus what the east is used to getting. And now what's happening is they're colliding. You're not going to be able to tell one season from the next. Many of my dreams I've had have said that. Now, having said that, I'm going in order of these dreams that I've had. And I personally believe that this world is so asleep that they cannot physically figure out what's getting ready to happen. So, this I had on the 15th. I was out of school. Sorry about that. I can only sit so long in one spot. Okay, so I was at a school where I teach, and I was in part of a building, and I heard no sirens, no alarms, nothing, and the building was on fire. Okay, and that's because no one knew. Okay, and these warnings came on suddenly. Okay, but the thing is, though, where I was in the gym or cafeteria area, and I had all these pillows and door stoppers, like the cloth ones that you keep the cold out, and for some reason I had them. Okay, and what is interesting, pillow represents comfort, right? So you can lay and relax. It's also earthly possessions, okay, that they're materialistic items, okay? And for some reason I had them, but we was doing a play and it was for Christmas. Okay, there was no snow and it was warm out, and like I said, today's the 25th. This was 10 days ago I had this dream. We've had no snow. It has been 55 degrees today, and it's been 59 yesterday, and it's raining. But it was like we was trapped, right? And I knew in my spirit that the building was on fire, was spreading to us. And everyone moved to the west wing of the building except us. Why? Because the west represents, okay, as far as the east is from the west, sun rises in the east, sets fall in the west, so shall be the coming of the Son of Man, right? From the east into the west as lightning shineth from the east into the west. Okay, so the west is representing a place of safety, okay? And there was a reason I was not there, okay? Because my job was to protect these children, okay? But I knew in my spirit it was coming to us. All right, so I was trying to prep these children like I am now, like a warning, okay? And I kept waiting. And finally I said, okay, guys, it's here, kids. It's here finally. Let's get up and go. Everyone is already where they needed to go at this point. And so I noticed that I forgot my phone, right? The pillows and the stoppers. And so one kid was still inside the building after I dropped the kids off to practice their play, and I ran back into the burdened building. Okay, and this represents that I left that 99 for that one. Okay, and I had to go in there to save him. And I told the kid, the fire is here. And he said, let's go out this door. I said, we can't because it's hot. So I put my hand on the door, and it was a mint green color. And mint green represents Jesus' reproving words to the Pharisees that they tithed mint and rue and kinds of herbs, but neglected the more important matters of judgment and the love of God. Okay, and we see this in the world right now. And I said, see, the room started filling up with smoke. I said, we have to go now. And the child ended up getting up and running outside like I asked him to. I ran to the other side of the building as well. And for some reason, I knew this fire was intentionally set. Okay, and I kept running back in to grab items. And that's when I woke up. And I believe not only does this represent a lot of the sleeping church, that there is a fire that's happening or that's burning, but I believe that this is going to be attack of some sort on our children. I don't know if it's a spiritual attack. I just know that it's going to be some type of target for our children. And I know that as a parent, it is our job to protect our children. And as a Christian, it is our job to be there for the new believers in Christ, or those who are lost, to help them come back so that they are safe. God promises to save us from the fire that's coming. Okay, even though there is no alarms or anything, something major is about to happen. Major. Okay, and so now here's the second dream. These dreams get pretty intense, okay? All right, so this one was on the 22nd, and I was with a group of people trying to help these Indian girls while they were being sex trafficked. And I went to Tim ended up, for some reason, texted me out of the blue. First, he called to tell me about what he saw. And he asked if I saw the pictures he sent on my text. And I said, no, why? He said, because it was a house surrounded by a fence, like it was on a farm. And he saw Nishimura falling from the sky. I said, I'm in the process of helping these Indian girls out from being sex trafficked. He said, look at your message. I opened my text and saw the picture and said, Nishimura is falling from the sky. And then I woke up. Short dream. I said, what? Okay. Timothy represents honoring God and is a wonderful way to introduce baby to your faith. Okay. Nishimura, is actually a Western village in Japan and by Okinawa, okay? And it's also the 46th most common last name. And who is our 46th president? Joe Biden. Nishimura was also a comet, represents the red dragon and the red tail. This dragon gets cast down from heaven, and for Tim to inform me shows that he has care enough to warn me of these events that is coming. Now, the sex trafficking part of this, I don't understand. But like I said, this is the second dream I had of targeting children this week. One was on fire, and now we have Nishimura falling from the sky, which I believe Satan's getting ready to be unleashed. And now the third dream, my daughter and I both had a dream yesterday morning. All right, so I'm going to tell you my daughter's and then mine. So my daughter and I woke up from a dream. I'm going to break it down, but she dreamt 2 days in a row the exact same dream. So I know that this is something real. But we was leaving my brother-in-law's town in Clifton, Illinois. And it was dark outside, and we went down the road, and I ran out this building that is an actual nursing home in real life, okay? And in this dream as well, I was getting bottles thrown at me, and I was crying, and I got into the truck and I told my husband, and my daughter came out and she was getting stuff thrown at as well, and my husband got mad and started taking off, but then he slammed on the brakes when Olivia said, I want to punch him in his throat. He said, then go do it. The next thing, there were these men in black cloaks. It was Islam and Gaza people that was here shooting guns at us, but they kept missing. My husband went through the ditch, and this time, because the first time around she had this dream, we were stuck in the ditch. The second time we got out of the ditch, okay? And so we drove all the way through, and his brother, Curtis, which is my daughter's uncle, recorded it the whole time, and my son and Willie was shooting at these guys. And the cloaks meant funeral and death, and then she woke up. All right, so I believe that this is an attack on our American soil that's going to happen. And I believe whatever's going to happen, children are going to be targeted. Again, like I said, 3 times, this is important. Something is about to happen. I don't know what, but I know something catastrophic. All right, and then I dreamt also. I don't remember all of it, but I remember clearly that there was stuff coming down from the sky, and I had to try and figure out how to shoot it out of the sky. And so I ended up launching a rocket from the ground to this plane or drone or something, because it had all of our supplies that we needed, or whatever was in it, was the supplies that we needed. So I believe that this is a type and shadow of an event that is going to happen, whether it be nuclear war or whether it be just an attack on our soil of some sort, whether it be from our American troops, the military coming down, something is about to go down. And these are warning dreams. And like I asked for rapture dreams, and God gave me these. So I know something's about to happen. And before I get into this very last thing, I want to read to you some of these things that coincide, I believe, with what is happening here. So we have the JN1 new variant, which I find funny because it reminds me of January 1st when the COP is implementing. Okay, they have to have all 17 sustainable acts completed by January 1st. I'll get into that later. But it says that this could leave hospitals and emergency rooms forced to ration care. North Korea fires ICBM after condemning the U.S. war moves. And we're going to be needing fingerprints soon to enter into Europe. North Korea fires another nuclear-capable missile with range to target the entire United States, Japan says. And then Putin using nuclear weapons against NATO is very possible. U.S. warships responds to ballistic missile attack in the Red Sea. And the U.S. issues grave ultimatum to North Korea: cease nuclear provocations or face regime's end. Attack U.S. Kim's regime doomed. Nuclear sub arrives in South Korea. Any nuclear attack by North Korea against the United States or its allies will result in the end of the Kim regime, U.S. warns. All right, so North Korea fired an intercontinental ballistic missile on Monday that has a range to hit anywhere in the United States, says South Korea and Japan, marking its second launch in hours as Pyongyang condemned a U.S.-led show of force as war moves. The missile has a potential to travel more than 15,000 kilometers or 9,300 miles, meaning it can reach anywhere in Japan and the mainland United States. Okay, Japan's parliamentary vice minister of defense, Shingo Mayaki, said. So this stuff's pretty serious, okay? And like I said, I dreamt of that rocket fire, rockets, children being attacked, American soil being attacked. Something is going to happen, and I am not 100% sure. So I'm going to end this video, and I'm going to continue to part 3, okay? So I'll be back.
I don't care what the potential upside might be. A warship hanging over our lands cannot be good.
That's your problem. Your first reaction is always fear. The mother world has deep pockets. I'm simply saying maybe we can get a better price from our friends in low orbit there. Rather than having to deal with the cutthroats in Providence, selling our grain to God only knows.
Don't act like we don't know you've been selling our surplus grain to the enemies of that ship up there. I wonder what they would say if they found out where our excess went last year.
Tell me, Sam, do you know the story of our slain king and his beautiful daughter, the Princess Lisa?
I don't.
Well, you remind me of her. In myth, she was called the Chalice or the Redeemer. She was Pueri Salvatoris, and even before she was born, I and my brothers pledged everything we were, everything that dwells inside this metal skin, to fight in her name. So when word reached us on some distant battlefield that she, as prophesied, had been born of flesh and blood into our world, I felt a great warmth for the universe, and trusted that she was to usher in a new age of peace and compassion, and bring us home.
She was magic.
We lost some measure of our honor since that betrayal. I'm afraid our compassion, our kindness, our very joy died with that young girl. Link is established. Connection complete. Signal is strong. Stand here.